Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. I hope you will consider subscribing. So today we're gonna step away from the canner. Most of my videos from last month were canning videos. So today, and I think probably through most of the month of October, we're gonna be doing some cooking instead and step away from the canner a little bit. So my garden is still producing a lot of peppers. I planted way too many pepper plants of all sorts, but I have a large abundance of jalapenos. So today I thought I would show you how I make pimento cheese stuffed jalapeno poppers. Now for the filling, I will link the video for you. I've already done a video on the pimento cheese filling, and I will leave an iCard for you here and also the link in the description box so you can easily find that video. That pimento cheese is really easy to make. It's very quick to make, and it's fantastic by itself, obviously, to make sandwiches or on crackers, things like that, but it's particularly delicious stuffed in jalapeno poppers. So that's what we're gonna use today for our filling. The other thing that I do that's a little bit different, lots of people like to bacon wrap their jalapenos, and that's fantastic. I have done that. However, I'm not a huge fan of it. I like my bacon really, really crispy, and I find that it's hard to get it as crispy as I like it. So I'm gonna be using some leftover bacon that I've already cooked instead, and I'm gonna mix it with some breadcrumbs, and that's gonna be the topping for our jalapeno poppers. But you could certainly bacon wrap yours if you want to. If you do bacon wrap them, I highly recommend that you par cook your bacon before wrapping them. Like I said, it's really hard to get your bacon crispy, especially if you skip the par cooking step. So feel free to bacon wrap them if you want to. I like just chopping up some already cooked bacon and crumbling that in with my topping. First of all, it's not a whole slice of bacon, so I'm getting fewer calories, but I'm still getting all the delicious flavor of the bacon with the jalapeno popper. So I'm gonna bring you in close and we're gonna get started. The other thing I wanted to mention is these freeze really well. So if you want to make up a big batch of them and put them in the freezer for later on, it's fantastic to do that. What I like to do is I like to get these small aluminum baking pans. I always have these on hand. They're fantastic for freezer banking, all sorts of things, but they're great particularly for the jalapeno poppers. And then I just put the prepared jalapeno poppers in here. I cover them with there's foil on one side and just cardboard on the other side. I cover them with that, and I write on the cardboard that I label them that they're jalapeno poppers, and then write the instructions for baking them off, and then I slip the whole thing into a freezer bag and pop them in the freezer. They're fantastic that way. These work great. I will leave a link to these. I buy these on Amazon, get them really cheap on Amazon, or for a nice value on Amazon, I should say. So I will leave a link for you in the description box for these as well. Okay, so obviously you want to make sure that your jalapenos are nice and clean, so I've just washed them and then towel dried them. And then what you want to try to do is keep some of the stem intact so you have a nice end to hold when you're eating them. So just cut your jalapeno in half. Like I said, try your best to leave some of the stem intact on both sides. And then what I do to make this simple is I just take a spoon to remove the membranes and the seeds. If you want to do this by hand, you will want to wear gloves. The spoon keeps most of the oils off of your hands, but you could still, if you are sensitive to the oils in the peppers, you might want to wear gloves anyway. I don't usually. I just use the spoon and I do just fine. So you just cut them in half, remove your seeds and membranes. Okay, so once you have taken the membranes and the seeds out and cut them in half, you are ready to stuff them. So like I said, I will leave the recipe for my pimento cheese spread in an iCard in the description box below. But I just use a spatula, a small spatula, to fill my jalapenos. And I fill mine generously, and then I put them in a baking dish that I have sprayed with cooking spray. Okay, so I have all of my jalapenos stuffed, and they are generously filled with the pimento cheese spread. I had a little bit of pimento cheese spread left, and I had 7 very large jalapeno peppers. One batch of the pimento cheese spread will fill about 10 jalapenos, large jalapenos or so. Okay, so now for our topping. I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter. I am going to add a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. And just make sure all of your breadcrumbs are moistened with the butter. And here I have 4 pieces of thick cut peppered bacon. Why not add a little more heat here? Actually, the peppered bacon is my favorite, and that's what I always have on hand. And we had it for breakfast yesterday, so I had some left over, so it's perfect. So, like I said, it's a great way to save calories and still get the flavor of the bacon. So now what I do is just sprinkle on your crumb topping, your breadcrumb topping. And then go ahead and top with your bacon. You could mix the bacon in with your breadcrumbs if you prefer. I usually just stick it on top. Doesn't it look delicious already? Okay, we're gonna pop it into a 400-degree preheated oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until your cheese is nice and melted and the breadcrumb topping is nice and golden brown. Okay guys, we are all done. I baked them at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. You just want to make sure your cheese starts to get bubbly and your breadcrumbs start to get golden brown. Now, if your breadcrumbs aren't getting the color that you want them to be, you could certainly stick them under the broiler for a few minutes to add more golden color, but I found that if you let them go to about the 25-minute mark, they are just perfect. Now, the one thing I wanted to mention, I intentionally put these very close together in a baking dish with sides. If you try to do this on a like a flat baking sheet, your cheese will ooze out all over the place. So I pack my jalapenos really close together so that I can fill them really full. And then when I take them out of the oven, I let them cool for about 10 minutes or so that the cheese doesn't slide out of the jalapeno itself. So just a little tip there on that, but they turned out beautiful. I drizzled mine with a little bit of my cool and creamy fresh herb ranch dressing, and I do have a recipe for that, and I will link that for you as well. But look how beautiful they are. So pretty, so delicious, and really, really yummy. So I hope that you will give them a try. If you have any comments or questions for me, please leave them for me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, guys.